Welcome to Big JD Motivation. Thank you, man, for coming to this channel. I'm putting out some information and I hope you like it. If you know someone that needs to know this information, please send them to the channel. Please subscribe, like, help me grow this channel. I'm trying to build generational wealth for others as well as myself. I want to explain something and make a part two of the budget meeting, the budget video that I had. And I mentioned how you can't trust the bank, but in actual reality, you shouldn't even have money in the bank. And money is worth nothing. And this is why I want to explain to you why money is worth nothing. Um, you shouldn't keep it. And I'm explaining why. But let's go in history, and I hope I don't bore you with this. I'm going to make this history lesson real quick. And I'm just giving you a synopsis, no details whatsoever. But let's take a look. The Federal Reserve was created basically in December 23rd, 1913 by Woodrow Wilson, right around Christmas time. Merry Christmas, Woodrow Wilson. You know, they created the first central banking system in the United States. The federal government now can promote price stability, full employment, which is seek to achieve by increasing and decreasing the money supply. So now they can add and delete how much money they want to put out there now. And they also buy and selling U.S. government securities to influence short-term interest rate and credit conditioning. So now they can have a credit conditioning system, point system, interest rate, the whole 9 yards. So now we got the Federal Reserve creating this. But only way they can do this is had collateral. And the collateral was gold, right? Because why would the bank just let you do this? And so the money that they could print was backed by gold. And that's why they allow it to happen. Just like if you get a loan, you need collateral, right? They want your firstborn, your house, your car, your blood type, maybe a lung or liver. But, you know, you got to have some type of collateral, right? Okay, so now you figure this is a good compromise because they decentralized central banks by doing this, right? They balance the competing interests of private banks. Sound good, right? For the banks and the consumer. Then what happened? If this is a great plan, and this is how we're going to regulate the money and consumers and what have you, then what happened? So I grew up in the 70s and 80s and often heard people say, Nixon dropped the bomb. I didn't know what they were talking about at that time. Nixon dropped the bomb, right? So let's dive into that. President Nixon, shock. He actually came up with a new economic policy. And I'm going to tell you now, I still think a lot of that policy is still going on to this day, and I will explain why. So in August 15, 1971, the crux of his speech in the United States was to turn attention to domestic issues in the post-Vietnam War era. Right? We had civil rights, Vietnam War, a lot of stuff was happening in the 70s. And he wanted to outline three major goals: lowering the employment rate, stemming the rise of inflation, protecting the U.S. dollars from international money. Now, Nixon also want to he want to cite a tax cut and a 90-day hold on prices and wages as the best option for boosting the job market and tampering down inflations. For speculative behavior towards the U.S. dollar, Nixon supported suspending the dollar convertibility to gold. So the end of the convertibility of U.S. dollar into gold. Boom, 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 boom. Now the dollar is no longer backed by gold. And that just did not sound like a good plan. In addition, he actually proposed additional 10% tax on all imports that were subject to duties, similar to a strategy of somebody today running from office, and he went a lot higher. I think he went 100% on China, but I'm not going to get into today's presidents. But you got to look at their plans, right? So what happened? So now that Nixon created this, the inflation rose 3.3% each year, causing the dollar value to decrease 3.3% annually. So in 2024, what is the dollar worth, right? And actually, some things are like it's 776. But if you do the inflation calculator on average on all the different products out here, it average about 675.7. So if you do the math, it's only been 53 years, right? At a 3.3% rate, we should be at 179.9. Let's say 675. What the world? What happened, right? This not, it should be slow rate. It's at a 3.3. I thought 3.3 was high when I first saw it, but we went way behind, way above that, right? Now what happened? So now the money is no longer backed by gold, right? The federal government can print as much money as they want for roads, weapons, spaceships, etc., giving money to foreign people, everything they can do with anything they with the money, right? Because money to me, and I'm just saying, it's a promissory note. When it's not backed by gold, it's a promissory note, as far as I'm concerned. A promissory note is a federal instrument that contains a written promise by one party to pay another party an indefinite sum of money. So they, instead of us getting money, we was getting promissory notes, so you can go buy products. You're a consumer. You can get a, food to eat, pay, pay your rent, those type things, right? So we at that point where we now working hard for just promissory notes, right? Now, there was three type of people, right? And I'm going to actually say it's four, but I'm only going to list these three because you do have self-employed people, but they, to me, is consumer as well. Now, consumer is a person who purchases goods and services, right? And that's everyone. Everyone's consumer. Nixon economic policy is not good plan for the consumer because the dollar is going down in value and the price of goods are going up. So as a consumer, you're not winning, right? Entrepreneurs, people who have their own business, investors are people who organize and put money into financial plan property. Now, what good thing happened? Well, I could say it's a good thing. The S&P 500 started rising 11.4% every year since 1971. Now, if you was an investor and you invested your money, basically converted your money into stock in 1971, you're one of the wealthiest today. Warren Buffett, all the people that you see that invested in the S&P are billionaires pretty much, right? They understood the dollar wasn't backed by anything, so they instantly converted into some stock options, right? And I want to get into those stock options, right? So now you're going, wait, what is this? We're working for a piece of paper that ain't really have no value in my opinion, because it's nothing but a promissory note, because only thing that was working is stocks, right? Why our money was converted to stocks right away? What happened? What? They didn't teach you that. They didn't say anything about this, right? Only the wealthy knew, and everybody else, money is going down in value. So the wealthy's getting rich, poor getting poor. This is not good, right? 1980, the worst economic mess since the Great Depression. Employment was at 7.5% and 8 million people were looking for jobs. Inflation was at the highest point in decades, nearly 15% in March of 1980. Margin tax rate was as high as 70%. The economic growth was stagnant. The American people needed to be saved. Yep, we elected an actor, cowboy, Reaganomics 101. Now, it's a lot to Reaganomics because, in my opinion, Reaganomics didn't fix what Nixon policy. And I'm going to get into another video about Reaganomics because we still living in that, in my opinion, because it don't matter if you're Democrat, Republican presidents. Whenever they fix an issue with our budget, they just give us more money. I'm going to get into that more because that's what he did, was raise a lot of money for salaries and things like that, right? And you can see it today or whenever we have a problem. Hey, give them some stimulus money, right? They put more money into the problem, but instead of fixing that policy that I saw in Nixon, and that's what they've been band-aiding it ever since, in my opinion. But I'm going to get deeper in Reaganomics in the past, right? So now you figuring, John, doesn't sound right, right? We're now still inflation high, super high. What happened? What can we do better, right? As I showed you, having stock options are really key to this because money is worth nothing. And I'm gonna play a video just so you can just hear from your word of mouth, and I mean from someone else that's billionaire. I'm gonna let you hear from a billionaire. How about that? Let's listen to a billionaire real quick. Not John. I ain't a billionaire yet. see, where is it at? There we go.
Gave you $2.5 billion?
No, they gave us $5.7 billion in stock. So I got 33% of it or whatever.
Right.
And then
when Yahoo went to about $2.5 billion, you sold everything.
When it went up, I did a hedge, right? They called it one of the top 10 trades.
Now you see him choking up because he really don't want to explain what he did. But it was kind of one of the worst trades that happened in Wall Street, right? And he didn't take cash money, because money is nothing. He took stock options in Yahoo. When they bought his country, they offered him 5.2 billion or something like that, and they took stock options. They didn't take cash, because what's cash going to do? And Mark always just bought another business, or he reinvested his money. He never really took that. But I want you to, man, let's go to a small-time millionaire, right? Let's listen to a small-time millionaire.
Both go to Nike. They signed Michael and they signed me. And Michael gave me some great advice one time. He says, hey man, why you need all that money? I said, dude, what you talking about? He says, I was looking at your contract. You're making about $3 million. Tell Nike you want $1 million and you want the rest in stock options. And I said, thank you, Michael. Okay, I'll run it by my guys. He says, that's a good idea if they're gonna be great. I says, this dude's the greatest basketball player I've ever seen. Let's do it.
Or just do it.
I actually made probably 10 times the amount of money, and I'm still with Nike to this day.
Still with them today. The $1 million he kept, I guarantee, is spent, gone. He don't have no idea what that is. But that $2 million, I think he said it's worth over $20 million plus. It's still making money. It's still generating wealth, right? He took stock options. I have more videos, and you can look up people who took stock options, like 50 Cent with vitamin water. He bought into that, bought stock options, made him a multi-millionaire. Many stories of people who took stock options now. People understand it's not about money. Even I'm noticing that entertainers understand they need to own their catalog. You know, not just take cash for their creation of music. They need to own their catalog. I'm gonna play the LL video in another video, and he's happy with Def Jam's of giving him his catalog. Now, Russell and them made him work for it. You know, they didn't give it to him right away, but he's happy with it. He owns his catalog. Again, it's not about the money anymore, because money is nothing but, I guess, a promissory note, in my opinion, right? So you don't need to keep it. You should have stock options. And I'm going to tell you right now, can companies give you stock options? Absolutely. I'm going to give you an example of a company that gave their employees stock options. AOL. AOL had 8,500 employees, and they gave them stock options before they merged here before this got completed with Time Warner. Their janitors became millionaires because they got stock option. And I guarantee you today, if a company did what AOL did, they would get a call from the president, Congress, and they would shut them down. They would not allow them to have it. I don't believe our government really wants you to have wealth. I think they are making sure you don't have wealth. And I'm going to talk more about that in the Reaganomics 101 video, because you got to understand why they only allow you to put so much in the IRAs and so much in 401ks and thrift and savings and stuff. I'm going to get in more about that, because I truly believe the government does not want you to be wealthy. And that's something you really need to take a look at, and especially when you're in these elections. I know election time's coming up, but it's real crucial that you look at their economic plans. I really like that, and I'm just telling you, Biden was going to take your college debt away. He was trying to get rid of the debt. That helps with that inflation, right? That'll keep you a little bit better, give you a better chance in society if you didn't have that college debt, right? If you get into this high inflation college debt, starting off as children, it is hard to get from that paycheck to paycheck if you don't especially know this about investing and getting stock option. So everyone here that's much older, they're working for a company right now, and you work hard all year and they want to give you a bonus. Right now, you are conditioned to live off the money you have. Don't ask for money. Tell them, take the money back, and you want a piece of the company. You want stock options, and see how they laugh. He gonna say, "Oh, you a comedian now?" And you say, "No, I'm dead serious. My bonus this year, I want stock in this company. I want stock options." Because I'm gonna tell you now, if you have stock options and they ever fire you, they still got to keep paying you because you own part of the company. You're gonna get some royalty checks. So stop asking for money, people. If you working hard, tell them I need stock options. Don't keep working for money. Get smart. Own corporations. Own assets. Stop holding money. Stop putting it in the bank. It ain't safe. It's not even secure. So definitely own corporations. I just showed you videos what the billionaires do, what the millionaires do, right? Why can't you do it? I saw AOL did it for their company. Again, thank you for coming to Big JD Motivation. I look to see y'all next time in the next video. And please subscribe and let everybody know. This is a channel you're going to grow and build generational wealth. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.